Welcome. Jacob and I are done with our jaunting. We went back up along the, what is Lake Jordan, but that's because it was dammed, the Coosa River. It is the Coosa River area that we were exploring, and what appears possibly to be a native quartz harvesting area. I'll be interested to receive some feedback. You guys tell me what you think. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw at the end of this video about 3 minutes worth of me showing some of the finished quartz pieces that I found on that island in the Coosa River. So we'll look at what is potentially, let me know what you see, a native quartz harvesting area where they were harvesting this quartz and then turning it into, I zoomed in a lot, didn't I? And then turning it into, well, you'll see at the end of the video if you stick around. Jacob and I are going to go hydrate. I'm going to put this video together and I'm going to put it out for you, and I hope you enjoy it. And as always, guys, thank you for joining us on this journey, especially with this new puppy, Jacob, as we continue the process of bringing our past to the present, because we know that our best future requires the truth of our past. Enjoy, guys. Okay, so this is Impact Crater. All right, when I tell you there's an impact crater in Wetumpka, that's it. About to cross the Coosa. The Coosa. See how muddy it is down there? I can't use both hands to zoom in. But that's because it's Monday, and you know they flood it on the weekends for the kayakers. So right before you cross over Corn Creek, you're gonna see what sure appear to be potentially native mounds. And is it not ironic, irony of ironies, that we've got a Jehovah's Witness? They had churches on the mounds. I don't know. Somehow appropriate whilst completely and totally fucking inappropriate. That's all there is to say about that. Welcome to looking for native mounds in Alabama and the conundrums one comes across. Look, there's also a prison on either side. The justice system. Now that is fucking ironic, right? We're right here in Corn Creek. This would have been Coosa's territory. Look. Yeah, I'm on my way to nature, but look what I gotta pass through. That's the women's over there. That's the men's over there. It's just weird, is it not? That's Corn Creek right up here, guys. And then we're heading back up to Swayback. What do you think, dude? That's a fairly sizable hunk of quartz. I mean, from what we can see of it anyhow. Lots more we can't now. It's just Jacob. Yes, your leash is coming off. As soon as we figure out where all the bikers we are out here, we saw a lot of trucks in the parking lot. So, you know, I don't want you like biting bike tires. All right, we look clear. Come here, dude. A lot of quartz out here, guys. Here's a, come here, let me handle your leash. You know, it's just solid hunks. All right, leash duty. There he is. If you've seen my videos from Hatchet Creek, you know that I've pointed out to you, not only is it stone all the way up, but the trees are falling over because they can't get the taproot, right, to hold them up. Here is one easy way to determine when you've got an earthen mound. Now, be it a native mound or an engineered landscape or just a fucking ripple, because, you know, it's literally up and over, you know, from the impact. I don't know, but it definitely shows you the difference between those, this and those very you know, nothing but piles of rocks. I don't even want to call them hills. You know, you could call this a hill, right? You know, when I say mound, it's a mound of dirt. I mean, you know, it's a word, but it does, you know, rise up from over there, high point, and then go very sharply down here. And as many of the places I've found, you know, over more towards the Mobilicite, there's always these little springs running in between them. Usually smaller over that way. We're very close to the Coosa River here in Coosa's territory. All right, let's go climbing, dude. See what's over there. I know, dude, it's a cliff, and maybe an opportunity for someone with a little more experience to tell us what we're looking at. So this firm layer you see here, and I'm on the southern end, you know, of this steep sort of earthen hill here I have a complete layer, and if, you know, I pull one out, you can see it's just pieces of quartz. I mean, that's quartz. So I have a layer here of all different types of quartz, right? So I would guess we're possibly looking at like a quartz harvesting site. You know, you can see there the clarity, if I can get you a little light, of these pieces. And, you know, it's very much a definitive layer. There's a different type stone I can't quite get my hands on that looks decorative. That's just quartz with mud on it. Okay, so, you know, but look, all different sizes, different types, right? Yeah, I know Jacob. Jacob loves quartz. He loves rocks. He's a true rock hound. And look at the beautiful mounds. Got mounds on the mind. Mounding of ferns right here. You can see just underneath the foliage. It's a beautiful spot. And then this layer of hunks of quartz. Okay, what are we looking at here? So I've established for you roughly where we are with the Coosa River over here to my left. It's actually the Jordan Lake at this point. We're north of the dam. No, sorry, we're just south of the dam here. Between here and Hatchet Creek, you know, I'm constantly jumping both sides of the dam. Here we're still, no, we're not, because we're at Camp Chandler now. Yeah. Okay, so we've got the lake already started. So we've got Jordan Dam here, right? Just to our left from Jordan Dam Road. There we go. Now I'm remembering where I am today. So one of the things that I've showcased quite a lot here is the island of quartz out in the middle of the Coosa River, all of the worked pieces. So the quartz is being harvested from somewhere. So the layer I just showed you was literally behind this ridge. And as you start walking through the woods, you trip over then larger pieces of quartz, you know, removed from the water. Just scattered all over the floor down here. Look at this guy. You know, this is constantly flooded through here. But you see the different sizes. So my eyes, you know, say we're looking at some sort of harvesting point, possibly native. It makes sense because I found the island in the middle where all of the native artifacts, you know, made of different types of quartz are. So, yeah. What do you think? Jacob says, I think I want to chew a stick. Watering time, huh? What's that up there? Jacob, the frogs heard you. I was trying to get the frogs on audio. That's of Quartz. What we call fatwood. Makes fire instantly, makes turpentine as well, so makes bombs. And it looks like a Quartz manufacturing bomb went off in this place. Quartz harvesting. Yeah, that wasn't supposed to be yours. Find your own. He's gonna take that one. Dickhead. All right, let's keep going. Come on, a lot of this beautiful terrain left to cover. Littered with quartz. There they are. That is the sound of False Spring coming to you from way back bridge trails just north of Wetumpka, Alabama, home of the impact crater. I hate to tell you guys, but it's gonna get cold again. Come on, bro. Many more hills left out of here. Attaboy. There! First jump across, we got recorded. I don't think you have enough running start to do it again, do you? No, you didn't. All right, let's go for third's a charm, dude. You ready? Almost. You're tired. Water up. Thanks for joining us, folks. Really? Yeah, guess who forgot to bring the towel? And to finish out, we have the impact crater heading from north to south. The rim, I should say. Good afternoon, everyone. I promised you a look at the field where I'm collecting all of the pieces I've been showcasing. So you've seen them clean, right? So this is what they look like out here in this exact spot where I'm finding everything. So what are quickly becoming some of my favorite pieces are these bits of petrified wood. Now see what I mean? Covered in moss on one side, and you can barely make out its material on the other, but what you can then make out is your smoothed off edge, helicopter, smoothed off down here, and the fact that it will balance on that. You have a display piece, as I've showcased clean and at home. This was an interesting piece. So this is a large quartz rock, like all the rest, right? And you can see I found it like this. And I showed you a cleaned off piece the other day. Once you get this home, you can see that this is quartz, right? And you can see this work line. You've got them already worked down into triangular plates. This one's interesting. Same rock, quartz. Again, you see, this is how you find it. This whole island just looks like that. So you take it home, clean it off, and recognize that you have worked quartz in your hand. And it continues, you know. You see, this is how I found it. Look in here at the moonstone striations in this piece of quartz. All right. This stuff, it's beautiful, right? You find worked into all shapes, all sizes, big and small. Quartz. You see? And you see where it's been worked back right here? This is a big hunk. Smooth it off. Piece of quartz. So this is where everything's harvested from, guys. It's a special place.